Hey guys, it's Automotive Compilations here with another video. Top 5 weirdest cars ever made. Number 5. Peel P50. The Peel P50 was a small, tiny car holding the world record for the smallest production car ever made. It was produced from 1962 to 1965 by Peel Engineering Company in the Isle of Man. It was only 4.2 horsepower with a 49cc single-cylinder two-stroke moped engine that had a 3-speed manual with no reverse gear. So yeah, you had to physically push it by hand if you wanted to, reverse it out of somewhere. Had a top speed of about 37 miles per hour, so 60 kilometers an hour, and it was rear-wheel drive. It only weighed about 130 pounds. It was marketed as the one-man and one grocery bag car, so you could, go quickly, run to the store and do whatever. But it didn't really have any success because it only had 50 units made and it was extremely slow. And since it was so light, the wind could push it all over the place. It was not stable at all. It didn't have any suspension. It just overall was not a good car. And it never really made it anywhere. There is some replicas of it today because people find it funny. It's the smallest car ever made. But yeah, overall it was a pretty bad car. But also a very weird car. So that's how it made it to this list. Number 4. Reliant Robin. The Reliant Robin was a very weird car, produced from 1973 to 2002 from the Reliant Motor Company in Tamsworth, Staffordshire, England. It was really weird because it had one wheel in the front, two in the back, with 40 to 45 horsepower depending on the generation you got, and it was rear-wheel drive. It was 750cc to 850cc depending on the model you got, and all of them came with a 4-speed manual transmission. They topped out at about 85 miles per hour, which is very insane. That's 137 kilometers an hour in a tiny little car that weighed just under 1,000 pounds at 450 kilograms, and it was all fiberglass, which gave it a lightweight but a very cheap feel. They were known for tipping over. Like in Top Gear, they showed these cars tipping over, and they had a big problem with cornering. If you cornered too fast, you would roll the car. So they were pretty dangerous cars, but overall, they were pretty weird and quirky cars. They were a 4-seater car, so it was technically a family car. And it was considered a motorcycle in the UK, so all you needed was a motorcycle license, making them cheap on insurance. And they were really good on fuel, getting 60 to 70 miles per gallon. Definitely a very weird car. Number 3. Amphicar. As you can tell by the name, the Amphicar was an amphibious car, which means it can go on land and in water, which is definitely a weird thing, and that's why it made it on this list. This car was produced from 1961 to 1968 in West Germany under the Amphicar Corporation of America, producing 3,878 cars in total. They all had 1.1 liter inline-4, 43 horsepower engines with 4-speed manual transmissions. On land, they were rear-wheel drive, but in the water, they had 2 rear-mounted propellers powered by the same engine. On land, they can do about 70 miles per hour, which was 113 kilometers an hour. That's pretty fast for that time. And on the water, they were really slow. They would only do 8 miles per hour, which is about 13 kilometers an hour. They were pretty heavy, pretty light, but for how small the car was, it was pretty heavy, weighing 2,200 pounds, which is just under 1,000 kilograms. And they had a lot of problems. Because they were a cool car, they were really slow in the water, which people didn't really expect. The car was pretty fast on land. People thought it would be faster in the water. And they were not fuel efficient, especially for the time, getting 18 to 20 miles per gallon. That's not good for a small little car like that. They also didn't handle the best on the road. At high speeds, they were pretty dangerous cars, and they were a lot to maintain if you were bringing it in salt water. It could corrode really fast, and the body would rust, and it was just not good. It took a lot of cleaning. They also had a tiny cabin and a very small trunk, so they were really not convenient. They were more just to show off. It's kind of just like a car show type of car or whatever. They are very collectible nowadays, ranging from about 50 to 100,000 US in good condition. And it is a cool car. They're in some car museums and there's a lot of movies with them in it, so it's definitely a very weird car. Number 2. BMW Isetta. The BMW Isetta was produced from 1955 to 1962 under BMW, but was originally designed in 1953 by ISO in Italy. BMW then bought the licensing and produced it in Munich, Germany. There was 160,000 of these cars made. They had 250cc 4-stroke engines, and they made only 12 horsepower. They had 4-speed manual transmissions with a handlebar-style sequential shifter. It was rear-wheel drive, went about 50 miles per hour, which is 80 kilometers an hour. It was a very small but economical car. They were dangerous at high speeds. They could tip over if you cornered too hard, but overall, they did save BMW. They were very weird, and they were very small, so only 2 adults could fit in the car, but it was extremely narrow and tiny interior, so it was not comfortable. And they also were not safe if you got into an accident. They had no power on hills and highways. They usually struggled going uphill, and the weird part is when you open the front door, the whole steering column and steering wheel would come out with it. They were known, though, to get 60 to 70 miles per gallon. That's insane. And they were very maneuverable. You could park in tiny parking spots in Europe. It was a car that they produced right after World War II, when a lot of people in Germany did not have money, and they sold a lot of them. It's known as the car that saved BMW. So it's a car that's very big in history, but also a very weird car as well. And the final one, number 1, Cadillac Cyclone. The Cadillac Cyclone never made it into production. There was only one prototype made, and it was an extremely crazy car. It had an extremely weird look with this bubble on top of it, and it was made in 1959 by Cadillac, a division of GM, in Detroit, Michigan, USA. It had a 325 horsepower, 6.4 liter V8 in it. That is insane, especially in that time period, with a 4-speed automatic transmission, rear-wheel drive, and it was never tested, so there's no official top speed or weight of it, but it was estimated to be about 35 to 3,700 pounds, and it was only a concept car, so it was never road tested. We don't know if it was good handling or any of that. We don't know the reliability of it, but we do know it looked very weird and was an insanely powerful car for its time. It did have radar sensors on it, so you could it had some pretty advanced technology for collision avoidance, and it had a very futuristic looking design. It kind of looked like a jet or something, some like a UFO, I don't know. But overall, it was just weird they were going to make a car that powerful looking like that. I don't know. It was supposed to be like a futuristic space car, like spaceship car kind of vibe, but it would have been cool to see it make it to production, but there was obviously something holding them back. Maybe the price point, maybe they couldn't get something right on it, but who knows. But it was a very cool and weird looking car, so that's definitely why it made it to this list, and it was definitely the weirdest car ever produced. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, subscribe, hit that notification button, and like this video. See you guys next time.